Assalamu alaikum, I'm Maria Jitoon.
And I'm Varisha Azma. Today we have gathered here to celebrate the National Day of Ukraine at Vision TV.
The most important thing is that we are also celebrating the 25th anniversary of diplomatic relation between Pakistan and Ukraine. So let me introduce to all with our respected guest. Our first guest is His Excellency Volodymyr Lokomov. Next to him, Mr. Irshadullah Khan, the renowned poet and businessman as well. And the last guest is Mr. Vasil, the counselor at Embassy of Ukraine. Welcome you all to our studio.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sir, today is your National Day, and we would like to know that how do you celebrate a National Day in Ukraine?
Oh, in Ukraine, it's one of the most important celebrations, one of the important days, because independence, it was the most cherished dream of Ukrainian people. Ukrainians have been fighting for this for centuries. And on August 24th, 1991, this dream realized. Of course, it was renovation, we call restoration of our independence, because Ukrainian roots are going back to medieval times when mighty Kievan Rus state existed in this territory of modern Ukraine, and since that state Ukrainians practically have its roots, its traditions, language, religion, and all other paraphernalia of the states. Ukrainians are very happy with that, because right now we are, in a very, let's say, war situation with Russia, and this independence, cost for this independence is rather high. Every day Ukrainians are fighting against aggressors. They gave their lives for independence, and practically all Ukrainian people appreciate very much this date, and that's why this year celebration in Kiev, especially military parade, was enthusiastically acclaimed by the people in the streets. And what's interesting to say, this year's parade also witnessed that many our friends, allies, at least from 10 countries, they participated in the military parade, which was done in democratic way. So it were only troops, they were only troops, because military hardware was stored in another place for local people to see what Ukrainian defense industry could produce. And in the same time, we are very grateful to the nations, our alliance, who sent their troops to take part in this parade. Mostly there were detachments from Canada, Great Britain, United States, Poland, Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia, Moldova, Romania, and Turkey. So this is a very, let's say, I can't say it's very rich celebration, but it's most spiritual, because majority of Ukrainians have understood what the price we paid. We are paying for independence, and what, let's say, positive moments independence gave to Ukrainian people.
Sir, as you're a prolific writer, would you like to tell us about your poetry?
Yes, I've been writing poetry for a long time, many years before you were born.
Sir, how many years?
Since 1958. And I've written 28 volumes of poetry, which have been translated into 5 languages. And 4 of my plays have been produced in 35 countries. And the ambassador of Ukraine has brought a lot of light between Ukraine and Pakistan by promoting culture. Culture is the embodiment of a nation. And he has brought, for the first time, this tremendous light from Ukraine to develop the cultural events. And my book, The Selected Poems, was translated by my friend. And the interesting thing is this, that I was told by him, I think yesterday or a few days ago, that most of my copies of the translation in Ukrainian language have been sold out. So it has had a very big response.
Yeah, I can confirm you easily. I just arrived a few days ago from my capital, from city of Kiev, and I tried to find this book, which I
So how you
translated.
get the
But they
inspiration?
told me every book were sold. So.
How do you get the inspiration to translate Mr. Irshadullah Khan's poetry?
Okay, we diplomat usually dealing with political processes, with foreign affairs, you know. But from my diplomatic career, I'm 25 years already in diplomacy. I know for sure that politics is just a top of the iceberg, you know. And in order to grasp the meaning of these political processes, you need to dive in depth. Under the water surface to see the essence of these processes. And the easiest way to do this is to read poetry, because poet has the understanding of national psyche, national mentality, national soul. And I am happy that I found here, I met here in Pakistan such a brilliant poet as Mr. Irshad, and an idea was found or appeared to translate it. I didn't hesitate any second. I immediately started to do on this work, and I'm happy that we now have a good poetical book.
Sir, would
And
you
I
like to
could,
read?
I could, sorry, but interrupt you. I could add, you know, that we get issue of very popular Ukrainian magazine for intellectuals called Всесвіт, and they published shortened version of these selected poems, and I could show you, for instance, Mr. Irshadullah Khan came second, and the first was a famous American singer and poet Bob Dylan, Nobel Prize laureate of this year, and the second in this magazine are in the second place Irshadullah Khan.
So it's a great achievement.
So we hope that the next Nobel Prize in literature will go to
Amen. Sir, would you like to read any poem for us?
Yes. What we'll do is this, that I'll read the English version
Yes.
and then he'll translate it
In the
into Ukrainian. So we'll do poem by poem.
Okay, sir.
Is that okay with you?
Yes, sir. Sure.
Okay. The first one is called "The Poet Can Not Write Only About." The poet cannot write only about air, water, fire, and earth. He must write about the people who give him as much sustenance as air, water, fire, and earth. He must share in their death, and he must live in their birth, for they give meaning to air, water, fire, and earth.
Okay, now Ukrainian version of this brilliant poem. Поет не може писати лише про. Поет не може писати лише про повітря, воду, вогонь і землю. Він має писати про людей, які дають йому таку ж поживу, як і повітря, вода, вогонь і земля. Він має вмирати їхньою смертю і жити їхнім народженням, позаяк вони дають сенс повітрю, воді, вогню і землі.
The next poem. All the religions of the world, all the religions of the world, all social contracts and philosophy have agreed on sharing what we have with those who do not have. If we all did this, instead of hoarding our gold, the equation of this world would not break, and you and I would find laughter and rejoicing everywhere.
усі релігії світу. Усі релігії світу, усі соціальні контракти і філософії закликають ділитися тим, що маємо, з тими, хто нічого не має. Якби ми всі чинили так, замість того, щоб гибіти над нашим золотом, то рівність цього світу не було б порушено, і ми з тобою всюди зустрічали б сміх і радість.
The next poem is a short one. The early morning azan calls me to prayer. The early morning azan calls me to prayer. I know a new day will soon begin. Whenever your word is spoken, whether in synagogue, church, or mosque, in temple, wood, or open sky, my heart will always reach for you. Next one is called, it refers to my friend also. You, my ambassadors, keep me occupied. You, my ambassadors, keep me occupied with your hospitality and your freshness of mind. But as I see the evening through, this laughter and food and joyful company, I return to write in the night of our people and their broken pictures.
Ви, мої посли, забавляєте мене. Ви, мої посли, забавляєте мене своєю гостинністю і жвавістю розуму. Але збавивши вечір за цим сміхом, стравами і веселощами, вертаюся, щоб писати уночі про наших людей з їхніми розбитими глечиками.
Pakistan is facing an era of terrorism, and Pakistan army is particularly doing a great job in confronting them and destroying them. These people who kill, maim innocent men, women, and children. This poem is about that. The terrorists have hijacked a plane. The terrorists have hijacked a plane. In the name of religion, they say. The terrorists have hijacked the innocent in the name of freedom, they say. What religion is this that crushes love and threatens life? Do not misuse God's name for your perverted hallucination.
Терористи викрали літак. Терористи викрали літак. Заради релігії, кажуть вони. Терористи викрали невинних. Заради свободи, кажуть вони. А що ж це за релігія така, яка нищить любов і загрожує життю? Не зловживайте іменням Бога заради ваших хворобливих марень.
The last poem is that our enemies are not always on the border alone. The worst enemies are those who are in your country and who are destroying your country from within. Basically, it's about related to them and how corruption also destroys a country from within, eats it up from within, where the poor people are suffering.
This relates to our current situation.
That relates to our current situation. The enemy is on our border. The enemy is on our border, and we are fighting amongst ourselves. What kind of Trojan horse has been let in. What kind of conspiracy is this to destroy us from within?
Ворог на наших кордонах. Ворог на наших кордонах, а ми воюємо між собою. Що ж то за троянський кінь такий потрапив до нашого табору? Що за змова плететься проти нас, щоб знищити нас із середини?
I'd also like to say again that it is because of the brilliance and the personality of the ambassador of Ukraine that this book was translated, and that it has brought a lot of light between Pakistan and Ukraine in the field of culture. Thank you, Excellency.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir,
Thank
for
you so
joining
much.
us
Very
today.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you. I could add, real poetry, like Irshad Ullah Khan's poetry, could unite nations much closer than, all the political declaration, communique, even agreements. Because listening to these short, concise, laconic verses, we really understand the pain, life, striving for happiness, for future of Pakistani people, which coincide practically with Ukrainian strivings and spirituality. So that is why right now I could understand that selected works of Mr. Irshad Ullah Khan translated in Ukrainian right now you could not find in the books. It's sold out. So it's really
Maybe.
spiritual coincidence.
Sir, it's time
Compliments.
for a break. We will be right back. Keep watching Vision TV.
Welcome back, viewers. Some new guests have arrived in our studios. We would like to welcome them. Our first guest is Dr. Sarwar, who is the Chairman Association of Graduates from Ukraine in Pakistan. Our next guest is Miss Lana, who is an English literature expert.
Sir, I would like to ask कि आप जिस तरह का आपका ताल्लुक़ है मतलब एक एसोसिएशन से, ठीक है, तो सालाना कितने लोग ऐसे हैं जो यूक्रेन से पढ़ के पाकिस्तान आते हैं?
सबसे पहले बहुत मेहरबानी कि आप लोगों ने हमें बुलाया और यूक्रेनियन इंडिपेंडेंस डे के मनाने के हवाले से। अगस्त का महीना ऐसा महीना है जो हमारे रीजन में आज़ादी की, ख़ुसूसन 14 अगस्त पाकिस्तान का इंडिपेंडेंस डे है, 19 अगस्त अफ़गानिस्तान का इंडिपेंडेंस डे है, 24 अगस्त यूक्रेन का इंडिपेंडेंस डे। तो अगस्त का महीना हमारे दो नेशन के लिए एक बहुत अच्छा महीना है और बहुत मेहरबानी आप लोगों ने हमें ये मौका दिया कि यूक्रेनियन इंडिपेंडेंस डे के हवाले से हम आपकी स्टूडियो में बात करें। हमारी एसोसिएशन जो है वो पाकिस्तानी जो यूक्रेन से पढ़ कर के आए हैं, आज इनकी तादाद पाकिस्तान में तकरीबन 2,500 के करीब स्पेशलिस्ट हैं और ये यूक्रेन की बहुत मेहरबानी है कि उन्होंने हमें हेल्प किया है और एक अच्छा एजुकेशन दिया है और वो लोग आज पाकिस्तानी अवाम की खिदमत कर रहे हैं अपने फैमिली को सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं। इनमें ज़्यादातर डॉक्टर्स और इंजीनियर्स हैं, हालांकि इसमें एविएशन के लोग भी हैं, एटॉमिक एनर्जी के लोग भी हैं, मुख्तलिफ़ फील्ड से उनका ताल्लुक़ है। तो हमारे सेशन की यहाँ पाकिस्तान में 2500 मेंबर्स हैं, और इसी तरह जो है ना यूक्रेन, इनमें से ज़्यादातर वो लोग भी हैं जो सोवियत यूनियन के ज़माने में वहाँ पे गए और वहाँ से फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट, कोई किसी का पैसा नहीं लगाए और वहाँ से पढ़ कर के आए हैं। तो वो ज़्यादातर वो बहुत गरीब फैमिली से लोग थे जो यहाँ पे अफोर्ड नहीं कर सकते थे, तो वहाँ पे जा कर के वहाँ पे स्कॉलरशिप पे और वहाँ से पढ़ें। तो आजकल बहुत अच्छे लेवल पे हैं, अच्छे पोस्ट पे हैं, अच्छे डॉक्टर्स हैं, अच्छे स्पेशलिस्ट हैं, अच्छे इंजीनियर्स हैं। PIA का चीफ इंजीनियर ये यूक्रेन से पढ़ कर के आए हैं। इसी तरह FBR में हमारे बहुत 19-18 ग्रेड्स में लोग हैं। इसी तरह हार्ट स्पेशलिस्ट हैं, न्यूरो सर्जन वेल नोन इन क्वेटा बलूचिस्तान, वहाँ से जो है ना यूक्रेन से पढ़ कर के हैं, और स्पेशली उस इलाके से पढ़े हैं जहाँ पे यूक्रेन में अभी वार है, वहाँ पे जंग हो रही है, दनेस से पढ़ कर के हैं।
Varisha, let's talk about the history of Ukraine. Sir, would you like to tell us about the history of Ukrainian Independence Day?
Okay, this date is going back to 24th August 1991, when Supreme Rada, Verkhovna Rada, that time it was called Ukrainian Parliament, proclaimed independence of Ukraine. But of course, this date we prefer to see as a restoration of our independence, because a Ukrainian state has roots in very ancient past. First of all, I would like to quote medieval state in Eastern Europe, which was one of the leading states at the time. It was called Kievan Rus, and this state was one of the most developed areas in, let's say, not industrial, economic way, cultural way, religious way, because this country has roots of its religion from Byzantine Empire, from Constantinople. Ukraine was a cradle of Christianity in that part of the world, I mean Orthodox Christianity. And since that period, Ukraine was in a very difficult period because its geographical situation, its natural resources, its population was a target of many kind of invaders, aggressors. And only in 20th century, Ukraine managed, struggled and succeeded in restoration of its independence. So this day is 24th of August, when Act of Independence was proclaimed, and after that, in December 1991, Ukrainian population with percentage maybe more than 90% supported during the referendum the idea of independent Ukraine. So historically this date comes from that, but having in mind independence, struggle for independence, we should pay tribute to all heroes who are fighting, who's been fighting for the independence during the whole period, for centuries, hundreds of years. And right now Ukraine is in practically it's in a war with our neighbor Russian Federation to struggle for independence, freedom, social justice. And that's why, you know, you mentioned about Ukrainian colors when we started discussion, blue and yellow. These colors very dear to us because, you know, they symbolize, for many people it's different, but traditionally blue symbolize the sky, and yellow it's a color of grain or fields, wheat fields in Ukraine. Ukraine, you know, is so-called grain basket, not only Europe of the world. That's why a combination of these two ideas, blue is the sky, something enhanced feeling, something which connects us with superior, let's say, forces, and fields. It's a labor. And yellow color of Ukrainian flag means bread, labor, hard labor sometimes, productivity, and that's why combination of some superior ideas and labor and productivity, bread, and as my people told, bread, it means hospitality, because Ukrainian always are eager to share its bread with friends, like Pakistani friends, for instance. So that's why that's a symbolic meanings of these two traditional Ukrainian colors. And what's interesting now, Ukrainian flag became a symbol of struggle, persistent struggle for democracy, for independence, for freedom and social justice, because of famous Revolution of Dignity, which opened practically a new era in social and economic and political development of Ukraine. And we could consider this fact also is very important historically for independent Ukraine.
Ma'am, we have heard about bread. We would like to know about the blessed foods of Ukraine.
The food. I think all the ladies would love that part. Yes, a very traditional part, and my favorite of all, called vareniki.
Vareniki, yes.
Amazing, beautiful pastry stuffed with all kind of, I'd say, pots. But traditional one is the cottage cheese, which is mixed with the cream, and actually you can also add potato separate with mushrooms. You can add cabbage. And friends of mine recently they made a special day of Ukrainian cuisine, and we all participate and we all learn how to make vareniki. So.
Ma'am, tell us about the culture of Ukraine.
I think yes. When we speak about the culture, first what comes to my mind is a national costume, which presents centuries of culture. And Ukraine has one in particular. It's called a vyshyvanka. It's a beautiful white blouse, which embroidered in a very particular style. Only in Ukraine you can find that, with the sleeves, with the neckline. I think there are so many designs, and for every family, from every region, from every area, they have their own designs. Yes, and in families, perhaps some designs might pass from generation to generation. So from mothers to the daughters, and so on and so forth.
So would you like to add some?
इसके अलावा और ये है कि पाकिस्तानी और यूक्रेन का भी जो है ना कुछ चीज़ें कल्चर के हवाले से भी सिमिलर है, सेम है.
For example?
मिसाल के तौर पर हम यहाँ पे यूज़ करते हैं, ड्रेस के हवाले से बात लाना कर रही थी कि वो हम यूज़ करें शलवार कमीज़. तो यूक्रेन में सेम वर्ड शलवार सेम प्रोनाउंसिएशन एंड सेम मीनिंग शलवार. और शलवार दा नो अदर्स वन शलवार दा सेम वन मोर वर्ड मैदान. You know, Maidan.
Symbol of revolution in Ukraine.
In Ukrainian language, Maidan, like in Urdu, Maidan.
Okay,
same meaning. So.
उसका मतलब क्या है यूक्रेनियन में?
जो उर्दू में
मैदानी
है.
अच्छा.
हाँ, यानी वो जो प्लेन एरिया या फुटबॉल का मैदान होता है ना, या कोई और इसी तरह प्लेन एरिया, इसी तरह मैदान यूक्रेनियन लैंग्वेज में भी सेम मीनिंग है. इस तरह और मुख्तलिफ वर्ड्स हैं जो यूक्रेनियन और पाकिस्तान में तकरीबन सेम है.
चापल, चिरिविचकी,
चिरिविच चापल, और भी इसी तरह चीज़ें बहुत हैं.
सो फूड के हवाले से
फूड के हवाले से मैं ये कह सकता हूँ कि जब हम गए थे फर्स्ट, ये बात है 1986-87 की, तो ये बहुत मेहमान नवाज लोग हैं।
हमारी तरह।
हमारी तरह, मैं समझूंगा हमसे भी ज़्यादा। आप उनके घर जाएं, घर में फ्रिज में जो कुछ भी पड़ा है सारे लेकर के टेबल पे रखते हैं, चाहे चीज़ है, जो भी मीट, और बहुत 1 डिश नहीं, 2 डिश नहीं, 5-6 तरह की चीज़ें, एक आलू से 5-6 तरह की डिश बना करके दे देते। एक प्रोग्राम हो रहा था, अफ्रीकन था, तो इसी तरह जिस तरह आप उस टीवी प्रोग्राम में उनसे पूछा कि आप ये यूक्रेनियन लेडीज़ को क्यों पसंद करते हैं, अफ्रीकन से पूछा। अगर मैं इस तरह की, मुझे पता होता है, मैं अपने गेस्ट साथ होते हैं, घर में कुछ नहीं है, सिर्फ आलू है, तो मैं उसको
आलू से 5-6,
तो आलू से 5-6 जो है डिश तैयार होते हैं, तो क्यों उसको लव ना करो, कोई प्रॉब्लम ही नहीं है। तो ये बाकी यूक्रेनियन लोग जो है ना, एक तो ये कि 100% एजुकेशन है, उनमें बहुत यानी पोलाइट लोग हैं, खूबसूरत लोग हैं, मेहमान नवाज लोग हैं, और साथ साथ जो है ना ये उनमें अपने वतन से बहुत मोहब्बत करते हैं। इतनी मोहब्बत करते हैं कि यूक्रेनियन ने कोई ऐसे बंदा नहीं मिलेगा जो अपने कोई कह दे कि जी नहीं यूक्रेन, वो इस तरह सब यानी।
Sir, do you like any Pakistani food?
Oh yes, sure. I get used to Pakistani food, and right now, when I'm out of Pakistan, come back to Ukraine or other country, I'm feeling a lack of Pakistani spices. Kasuri methi, for instance, my family likes it very much, so that's why my taste changed after 5 years in Pakistan, and I appreciate practically
पाकिस्तानी रिसोर्स
all products, all food made in Pakistan. And what's interesting, the process we are talking about bilateral relations at political level, economic level, trade projects,
a trading
investment
volume-
project, big projects. But I should also mention that some bilateral person-to-person contacts or people-to-people contacts are growing. That could be proved by today's cultural event when famous Pakistani poet Irshad Ullah Khan poems were recited in both languages. And a number of Pakistani restaurants, we just come back to food, are being opened in Ukraine recently. And Ukrainians right now know that that's Pakistani restaurant, that's Punjabi restaurant, that's Pushtu food, for instance, something like that. So that's why Pakistani food is growing. And I'd like to remember some interesting episode. This year we are celebrating 25th anniversary of establishment of diplomatic links between Ukraine and Pakistan. And we decided in the embassy, beside all, diplomatic, state level events, to celebrate it, to mark it at the level of students, universities. And we arranged video conference, Qaid-e-Azam University in Islamabad. I was speaking from Islamabad. My colleague and friend, General Attar Abbas, who is ambassador of Pakistan in Ukraine, was speaking from Kyiv University, and hundreds of students were involved in this video conference. And of course, after formal speech from our sides and experts, students, they are very democratic people. They don't look at faces. They say, what personally I and my pals could benefit from these bilateral relations. I said, Guy, go to the nearest department store 100 meters from your university and count how many Pakistani products you could see now. He immediately came back because it's very close, and he said, I found in the small shop at least 3 Pakistani products on sale, commodities. It's easy to do in Ukraine, because in Ukraine every product in the shop should have tab with name, price, and country of origin with flag. So he looked Pakistani flag, say 3. It was basmati rice, it was tinus, and it was textile. So even 3 years ago, you did not find in small shop this, and that's example how our relations is gaining space, not between high levels, whatever, but for ordinary people of both countries.
That's great.
Sir, since you have interaction with the Pakistani people, how do you find the Pakistani nation?
Oh, it's Pakistani nation is a very specific. After more than 20 years of diplomatic experience, practice in other countries, Pakistan was a bit outside of my specialty. I was ambassador in African countries and South American countries, and Pakistan for me, it became a discovery. In a very, let's say, not easy way, because after months, week in Pakistan, 1 month Pakistan, even year, you did not see the whole Pakistan, entire Pakistan, or you did not see, like my colleague told, spirit of Pakistan. And after spending 5 years in Pakistan, I could say, the more you live in this country, the more you understand this country, you love the country the more.
Ma'am, tell me the best places in Ukraine that would you like to suggest us.
My favorite is Kiev and Donetsk. I've heard many people and many opinion, and of course every person says, okay, my personal city, the city where my family came from is the best, right? So I don't want to offend anyone in particular, but yes, I think Kiev is the most popular today. It's a very beautiful city.
It's historical center,
Historical place.
It's one of the most ancient cities in that part of the world. It's almost 2,000 years long, and like in all ancient places, areas, you could feel very huge, positive, affirmative energetics. So Kiev is a place like that. You see, our trade turnover is on increase and on the rise now. And we are going to restore the level we reached in 2014. It was because you mentioned this figure, but statistics in Pakistan and Ukraine are different because of fiscal years, financial years are different, and statistical years are different.
Thank you, sir. Sir, any message?
जी सबसे पहले तो हैप्पी इंडिपेंडेंस डे टू पाकिस्तान एंड यूक्रेन। और लास्ट मैसेज मेरा ये है कि यूक्रेन टेक्नोलॉजी में बहुत आगे है, और पाकिस्तान के जो बेसिक प्रॉब्लम हेल्थ, एजुकेशन और एनर्जी, इन तीनों में यूक्रेन से बहुत फ़ायदा हम ले सकते हैं। और उसमें ख़ुसूसन जो है ऑयल गैस सेक्टर और वाटर का जो प्रॉब्लम है, यूक्रेन के पास वो टेक्नोलॉजी मौजूद है जो न अमेरिकन के पास है, न कैनेडियन के पास है, किसी के पास, न रशियन के पास है, वो यूक्रेन के पास है, और ये समझे कि ये एम्बेसी के पास है। तो हमने यूक्रेन से फ़ायदा उठाना है, और ख़ुसूसन टेक्नोलॉजी में। और यूक्रेन वाहिद कंट्री है जो पाकिस्तान को ट्रांसफ़र ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी दी है। अब उसकी डिटेल में मैं नहीं जा रहा हूँ। तो मेरा मैसेज ये है कि हम इधर हैं, हमारे स्टेशन इधर हैं, थाउजेंड्स ऑफ द स्पेशलिस्ट वो जो यूक्रेन से पढ़ कर के आए, उनसे फ़ायदा ले लें। हर जगह पे हमारे एसोसिएशन के लोग हैं, हर गांव में समझिए और हर शहर में हैं। तो इस टेक्नोलॉजी से यूक्रेन से हमने फ़ायदा उठाना है, और इसके लिए हम तैयार हैं एनी टाइम।
Ma'am, any message to our viewers?
I'd like to wish both countries productive cooperation followed by prosperity for both nations.
Ma'am, sir, will you please sign this mug? like to say thanks to all our respected guests. Thanks that you have joined us today on your special day. इसी के साथ आप सबसे इजाज़त चाहते हैं. अल्लाह हाफ़िज़.
Keep watching Vision TV.